welcome back to today's video. So I'm going to just fill you in on what's been going on and basically how my mental health has been for the last month-ish. It's a bit more longer than a month, I'm sure. So things have improved. As you might have saw, I put up a video on me going to B&M. I am still so proud I did that. I just felt like going out. It was after Lisa's live stream on the Thursday and I was just feeling so good and everything, and I just thought, you know, I might be able to do it. So I just did it and it was great. When I got in there I was still apprehensive, and then eventually once I realised that, you know, nobody's bothered. Nobody was going to bother me, and I forgot people were in there. You know, eventually I just forgot about everybody and I was just more interested in looking at stuff and everything, and I was fine. So I'm really proud of that. I went over again since because my cousin wanted to go over and he just said he had to keep me company, so I went over again, and then I did buy makeup. Only a setting spray. I just bought a W7 Dewy Fixer setting spray for $2.99 and I really like it. So yeah, so that happened, and yeah, things have improved a lot. Excuse the noise, the builders are in again. Yeah, a small terraced house apparently takes 8 weeks. So anyway, basically everything's improved. I'm not blaming myself anymore. I've stopped, and I think that is basically down to all of you lovely people that have messaged me and I've spoken to. Every one of you have said, I was a child at 11 years old. I could not control that. There was no way. And also Lisa said, would you blame an 11-year-old if someone was, you know, if someone at 11 years old that I knew was going through this and told me, would I blame them? No. They were a child. So why am I blaming me? So I stopped. And with everybody talking to me, all of you, I'm giving you, you know, you're giving me your wonderful support. And also Leslie Ann gave me a great idea which I followed through with. Now I've been talking with Leslie Ann about stuff along these sort of lines. I'm not going to tell you what we talked about, that is confidential. But yeah, basically she said, write a letter telling them exactly how they made you feel and exactly how you feel about them, and burn it. And that is what I did. I did that letter. I had to do it on a day where I knew I would burn it immediately. I didn't want it sitting there. So I did that letter. It was on an evening. Took it out in a old used candle jar. Popped it in there. Set light to it and let it burn. It took a while to burn as well. I think it's because some of the wax was still left in the jar. But I let it burn. It burnt to cinders and it freed me. I can't say it's totally freed me. I mean, nothing's going to be that quick. But yeah, I felt a huge sense of relief that I'd actually said what I wanted to say for all these years. And yeah, it freed me a lot from that. And yeah, I've just improved a lot ever since. I've just been improving, and I've stopped blaming myself because it's not my fault. And also things came up where I thought, you said you thought you never stopped it. You know, it was just like on myself, well, you say you never stopped it. But you did. Because my mum and Albert which was my stepdad, wonderful man. We used to call him Bunt for short. I don't know how he got the name Bunt, and he also got the name Bert. Bert makes sense, but Bunt, we don't know. But, so, they used to go out on a Friday night just to the club down the road. Not a nightclub, just a normal club. And one night I just thought, I'm not staying here with this old git. I'm not staying here to be hurt. I'm not staying here to be touched. I'm not doing it. So I said to them, can I come out with you on Fridays? And of course went, yeah, of course you can. Not a problem, of course you can. And that's what I did. I went out every Friday. And I stopped him. Yeah, I stopped him. So I did stop it. Somewhere in me just went, I'm not doing this no more. I'm not doing it. And that time I was about 12. So, you know, a bit more strength than when I was 11. But still, you know, still couldn't stop him if I was alone with him. But yeah, I stopped him. And that shot him in the foot, didn't it? Yeah, it did. So, yeah. Some other things that come about in my head, what happened previously to when I was 11, which I didn't know about. Because I suddenly blocked it out. I think I'd blocked it out for, well, years, really. And I must have been pre-11. So, yeah, and I must have blocked that out for years. Basically, what happened there was, when I was living at Melton Mowbray, because I was born there, and I was living at Melton till I was at the end of my 11th year. So, because, well, my dad died when I was nearly 11, or was it nearly 12? Could have been nearly 12. It was nearly 12 actually, because I remember him meeting me off the bus from school and asking about my day and stuff. This was before he got really poorly with the big C. And yeah, but anyway, this was while he was alive, so I've got a feeling I was about 9 or 10, I don't know. But we had these two brothers, the end of the street sort of thing. Now, our street was a cul-de-sac, but at the bottom of the street was just a normal kiddie play park. And we used to go down there a lot, because back in the late 70s to early 80s sort of time, you know, parents weren't so worried about their children being out alone so much then, because, you know, all this stuff that happens now where you don't want to let your kids out of your sight just didn't happen back then. And so we used to play on that play park a lot. We'd go down there. But I also remember my mum and my mate's nan, because my mate, nan brought her up because her mum didn't want her from birth. How awful is that? Anyway, we used to go down there and play there. Sometimes a few of our friends would turn up and we'd all play together. And my mum and my friend's nan used to say, those two brothers, don't go near them. Please stay away from them. If they turn up at the park, don't go near them. Because they used to hide in the bushes, because we used to have the play park. And then there was a set of bushes, and behind those bushes there was a little bit of space between the bush and the fence, because there was horses over in the field. And then far along there was a police dog training centre where you could visit, and also some horses in there as well, because that's where their stables were. So taking into fact this little gap, and these guys would sit in that little bush gap, that bit there, and wait for his young girls to go there to look at the horses and entice us to sit on their knees. Yeah, so you can understand the warning our parents were giving us to say, don't go near them, because they knew this. I think the police knew this, but nothing was done. I don't know why. I just have no idea about that. So we'd keep away from them. And we was fine because we didn't go near them. We knew they were there and we just didn't bother going near them. You see, they'd hide away because, yeah, doing their little dirty deeds, you know. So we'd stay away. So something came apparent to me of what happened, because there was another pathway just at the side of Michelle's house where you'd go down, and then there was a lot of ground, open ground. Now, for some reason, I don't know why, because there was a lot of used, burnt out, rusty cars. And when you're kids, you do weird shit. And so we used to sit in them cars and pretend we was driving, and it was horrible. I don't know why. Why did we do that? So one particular time, Michelle wasn't in the car at the time, I know I was, and these two blokes turned up, and they've never turned up there before. Must have got wind that we always played there, and you know, so they turned up, and one got in the car beside me, the other one blocked the other entrance, one bloke was trying to put his hands on me. I was screaming and fighting him off, and Michelle noticed that quickly and ran. She just ran. Got her nan got my mum. They come up, obviously played hell, got me out, got me back. I was shaking and everything, and this just come about in my head, and I don't know why it is, because I was playing another game. I seem to like simulator games, so don't ask me why, particularly car mechanic simulator. Why? I don't know. So anyway, this was an old rusty car I was fixing up, and all of a sudden the smell, it makes me want to throw up, suddenly came into my nose. I don't know why. It might have been the car maker I used to sit in, or whatever happened. I don't know how it happened. And I thought, oh, this is making me feel ill. I thought, no, just continue. You can do this. It's not going on now. Whatever it is, it's not happening. So I carried on with the game. And then it just became apparent that I couldn't carry on. And then all of a sudden I thought, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So going back to the story, my mum and my nan got me out of there, took me back to Michelle's nan's, because she was the only one that had a landline, because we didn't have landlines that much there. I tell you, we didn't have landlines that much. No mobile phones and no computers. You know, we survived. But yeah, so phoned the police, and the long end of it was the police came down quickly, arrested them two guys, and we never saw them again. Obviously spoke to me, which I don't remember that well, but all I remembered from that beforehand was those two brothers got arrested one day. I remember the police car and everything else blocked out. Then all of a sudden, playing that game, it suddenly went, oh, that was because of me. Oh my goodness, how did I manage to block that away so long? And the sun's coming out. I'm going to turn this lighting off. It's not needed. Okay, it's disappeared again. So anyway, that came into my head. That literally just went, oh, how did I block that out? Oh wow, that must have been so traumatic to me at the time, and it would be, that I just completely blocked it. All I remember was police car turning up and taking them, and we never saw them again, but that was it. So anyway, that did happen, but I dealt with it. I thought, okay, this is terrible. This is something different. I know where that smell comes from, what makes me want to vomit. It's a kind of because they was a bit sweaty smelling, plus with a woody scented cologne. and that's what comes into my nose. So I thought, okay, I threw up, I won't lie, I did. But I thought, okay, you can deal with this. This was terrible, this happened, but they're not here anymore. They can't hurt you no more. My goodness, you're 48. You're not going to let somebody hurt you like that. You're just not. And I won't. So I can control situations now because I'm obviously an adult. So yeah, that was pretty terrible. But I am dealing with situations now. And I'm learning to think, okay, it happened. You was 11. You couldn't control that. That couldn't be helped with. Well, it could be helped. They could have stopped, or not started in the first place. Would have been great. But they're not here anymore. In fact, I know 2 of them are not alive no more. In fact, 3. So, because there was a 3rd incident when I was. See, I must have been a magnet to it for some reason. Because there was this one where this guy seemed really nice, and I was 14 or so. I had a pet hamster. He wanted to go see the hamster, and then wanted to try and kiss me and say nobody'd find out and nobody'd know. It'd be his little secret. And I told him to, yeah. And he goes, well, no one will believe you. I said, do you want to try me? Get out. And he did. Because he knew he wouldn't be believed. I would. So you see, strength. But being older, you sort of do that. But anyway, no one can hurt me. That's the fact. Nobody can hurt me no more. So, yeah, I'm dealing with it better. So, my mum went in hospital, as you may know. Well, I'll put it on my Instagram. She had a fall. She has this pendant thing around her neck. So, she don't wear it when she goes shopping. Because she says, well, it doesn't work when I go shopping. I always say to her, well, leave it on. It doesn't matter. But no. She took the pendant off. Went shopping. Came back. I called her about 3 o'clock. And everything is fine. She'd obviously forgotten to put the thing on. And then at 4 o'clock, moved funny when she was trying to just throw some stuff away. And fell. And broke her hip. So I got a call from the carer, found her on the floor when she went there after 6. So she'd been there 2.5 hours. And we went up, me and Stuart went up there thinking, oh, we'll wait for the ambulance, 2 hours it'll be here. No, it wasn't. That was 8.5 hours later. 8.5, something like that. I know it was a flipping long time. And the fast response car was there a few hours before. So we had her there to help. But yeah. I got in and we have this little joke and I say, you want to take more water with that, Mum? And then she comes up with, well, I don't drink. I went, I know. It's more my little joke, not hers really, but she gets it. Kind of. So anyway, so I just went, now this might hurt a little bit. I'll try to be as gentle as I can because I got my first aid, so I know what I'm particularly looking for. It's got dull again, hasn't it? I'm going to put this back on. So I just felt up the sides of both legs and there was a massive swelling right up that leg. And I just went, Mum, I think you broke your hip. So when the fast response car came out, and this was about an hour and a half later, it could have been 2, but I think it was an hour and a half. I distinctly remember about an hour and a half. And she came out and she felt up her leg and just went, yeah, broken it. So she said to all the things, you know, your name and all that, got all the details, got my phone number, etc, etc, how you do. And she said, are you allergic to morphine or anything? And my mum says, I don't think I am. So she administered a small amount of morphine. I got her some paracetamol, which she refused beforehand because my mum's funny with painkillers for some reason. And then she started to relax a little bit. During this time, however, she'd wanted a wee. So she was holding on to that for 8 hours. We couldn't really get her off that sofa because what it was, she was on the floor when we got there. And it got to 7:30 and she was so uncomfortable on the carpeted floor because it was hard and not very comfortable, obviously, as you can imagine. And although it's not advised to move them, I made the conscious decision that with, gentle, swift movement onto the sofa which was next to her, and with instructions to Stuart on how to do it, he got her legs part and I got my arms right under her arms, if you know what I mean. So her armpit was sitting here because you have to make sure you got good control. And we moved her onto the sofa, so it was slightly more comfortable. Anyway, she got administered morphine and top-ups quite regular, so it was somewhat more comfortable than what she was feeling at the time before the lovely woman from the fast response car came up. So we was just basically waiting. She could tell when an ambulance was allocated, and I think it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, she said, yeah, there was one heading to us now. Be around 20 minutes. During all this time, my mum wouldn't have her trousers cut for some stupid reason, because once that woman said, do you like these trousers, I knew what was coming, and I also thought, she ain't gonna let it cut them. She's just not. And I went, Mum, we can get you more trousers. No. So that was more painful than she needed it to be. Stubborn. But yeah, kept comfortable, warm, topped up with morphine, and just waited and waited and waited. And eventually the 2 ambulance guys came along and sorted her out and managed to get her on the commode, and she managed to go to the toilet. But yeah, it was just quite a long time to hold a full bladder. I can tell you that. I don't think I could do it. To be fair, I'd have weaned myself, I think. Yeah, she holded onto it. So eventually the ambulance guys came along, got on there, gave us some gas and air. Because the fast response woman, I can't remember her name, it's such a shame, and she said, oh, would you get us some more paracetamol? It's about the right time now, because by the time the guys come and they've got a mover on that, it will be kicking in a bit. My mum wouldn't take paracetamol off me. So the ambulance guy come in and said, oh, well, she had a paracetamol. I went, I've tried, she won't. And he goes to her, why won't you take paracetamol? Because when we moved you onto this trolley and you get up the hospital and they finally kicked in, it will not be as bad as it's going to be. Eventually, my mum went, oh, you're nagging me. And he goes, my wife says that, but I got there in the end, didn't I? So we got the paracetamol inside her and got her out the door eventually. We had to move furniture. And eventually got her out and, basically on the way up to the hospital. So I just sorted out everything. It was just took the commode away, emptied it and done all that because you can't leave that hanging around. Done the bare minimal basically and gone out and we come home. Still was shattered. I wasn't so bad because I'm a night owl, so I'm particularly okay. Yeah, that happened, and she's still in the hospital. It is 2 weeks later. I'm still waiting for them to do the CT scan. In the meantime, she got COVID. So she had to be moved to a separate, just a single room, if you know what I mean. I ring, I don't get nowhere, I get told the usual, yeah, she's comfortable. Yeah, she had the hip operation, she had that, because I had to convince Mum to have that. Because they said to her, they says, oh, you know, there is a chance she might not pull through. They have to say that. She's 76. And she was worried. So the first day I phoned up the hospital, which was obviously the next day. And I said, you know, the Sunday, you know what I mean, early morning, Sunday. And I said, you know, they said to me, she's worried about it because of what they said. And would you talk to her and try and convince her? And I said, absolutely. So I said, Mum, what are you going to do? You can't have a broken hip all your life and be in a wheelchair, because you won't be able to walk again. You'll be in a wheelchair and in pain all the time. But they said I might die. I said, that is just a precaution because she's 76. That's all that is. They have to cover themselves. I said, but you won't die. You'll get a new hip and you will be fine and you will walk again. I said, I can't imagine you being in a wheelchair all your life and suffering that. It will drive you bonkers, having to rely on everybody. It'll drive you nuts. And the lighting's throwing off, so I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so I said, no, this will drive you insane. So, have the operation, Mum. You'll be fine. So she said, yeah, okay. So I got back on the phone to the nurse and she said, can we do nil by mouth today? And I said, yeah, you can. So she had the operation done. Turned out she didn't have the operation done until the Tuesday, because I got a call from the doctor that told me everything and was talking to me about stuff and saying she was currently in surgery. I never received a call after surgery. Neither did I receive a call from the surgeon, which I was told I would. So that didn't happen. I kind of get it because they're busy, but I should have been informed after she came out of that operation. I just should. But that Tuesday wasn't very comfortable. I was, you know, even though I knew she'd be fine, I was still a bit, of course I was worried. Of course I was concerned because it's my mum. So I was going through it. And yeah, she had the surgery, she came out fine. I found out the next day. I wanted to give her enough time to come out of the anaesthetic. And yeah, she is doing well. That's a bit of fluff. It's alright, it's bugging me. But yeah, she came out of it really well. And she's doing great. But she ain't able to move around and have the physio yet, to what I can understand. Because she had COVID. I don't think she's got it now. I think she's just going through that 10-day isolation period they do in hospitals. So then they'll move her back onto the ward. And then hopefully I can go and see her this week, fingers crossed. Been phoning obviously and chatting with her when I can. Not very often, but you know, hopefully I'll get to chat with her on the phone. And yeah, she's doing alright. She's just, you know, she's a strong woman and she gets through stuff. I mean, she got through 3 broken ribs 2 years ago. And she got through a broken pelvis. I think I don't know what she did to it now. I think she just sprained it or something. But she got through that. And she's getting through this because she's strong. And so that's that. And I don't know much else at the minute. I was hoping for a call today, but none has come, so I'm going to be phoning later and trying to get some answers. because they're not doing any physio while she's going over COVID. But once over COVID, we need to be looking at her getting physio. They're also thinking of putting her into a rehabilitation place, which is just up the road here. Well, not just, you know, you have to travel in a car for 10 minutes. But just to give her a bit of respite and help more. She's been there before. And then go home. Hopefully with a few more aids to help her. Because, you know, she needs a few more handrails and things. But that's what's going on there. Oh dear. Honestly, it never rains but it pours. So that's all that's going on as well. But me and Stuart have watched a few things. Well, Stuart hasn't watched much of it. He ends up nodding off. We finished Hell's Kitchen. I miss that. I really miss that. I'm on the 5th book. Is it the 5th? I've done Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire. Yeah, the 5th one, The Order of the Phoenix. I watched The Goblet of Fire yesterday. So I'm already on chapter 10 of The Order of the Phoenix, because I want to watch the film. And yeah, that's still going on. I'm still listening to a book. Also, I watched My Mad Fat Diary again. I've not watched Ratchard. I still haven't continued with that. I need to, because I was enjoying it. I've not continued with American Horror Story because, to be honest, I was expecting more from the 1984 series, and I think it's a pile of crap. I didn't like the one before that either. That was... Now, you see, you would have thought I'd have liked the witchy one, being witchy orientated myself. But I just found it boring. I liked Apocalypse. That was really good. I watched that back to back. I've currently watched something else. I watched back-to-back episodes on Sunday on BBC iPlayer. Something called This Is Going to Hurt. And that's basically the memoirs of a junior doctor. And that was brilliant. Really, really brilliant. Really liked it. And I'm going to get the book as well, because sometimes books just delve in more. Well, they do. So I want to read that. I will have it read for me either way, so that's been done. I need to seriously sort out my makeup drawers, because I'm looking at them now and the drawers are open and everything's stuffed in again and not tidy, so I'm going to do that. I'm thinking of just putting the pictures of before and after on Instagram, because I haven't got the kind of setup where I can have a camera lower down so it can show you what I'm doing. It's just not possible. So I need to do that. I'm currently in love with the Morphe palette, the Natural Flirt one, so I'm doing makeup looks with that, and this is the one I did today. It's not been on that long at all. So yeah, I'm really loving that. 4th day of using that in a row. I think it's because it's spring weather and it makes me feel spring kind of feeling with peaches and pinks and colours like that. Yeah, I need to get on with watching more stuff. But we've been watching films and things. What have we been watching? We watched King Richard. Not about the King Richard III or anything like that. King Richard, basically the father of the 2 Venus sisters, the tennis players. That was good. Watched quite a few films. Not watched any horror films. I usually go for horror a lot, but I'm not really going for it right now. Watched a hell of a lot of YouTube. I tend to watch either house flipping videos. I'm watching Hermitcraft Season 9 because I really like Hermitcraft. I like playing Minecraft when I get into it, but I mean I do get into it and I can while away the whole day in Minecraft because the hours just go. Playing Car Mechanic Simulator, or not so much the last few days. I'm now on another simulator game, which is Train Station Simulator. I need to get alive. I'll go back to House Flipper at some point, and that will be, and I'll just while away on that. I need to play some of my other games, you know, get back into them. I'm not playing that Book of Shadows again, because, no, I'm not dealing with them spiders. That was a one time only. It was a great game, but no, I'm not doing that. I'll annoy Neil every time I have to have that bit done, so I'm just not doing it. I need to play Devil May Cry again all the way through. I really do, because I really like that. And Tomb Raider, I'd like to play that again. Although on one part of one of them games, it was one of the updated ones, and I was on this really high platform bit where you had to go over and left and right and all this stuff and get all the puzzles done. And there was water below. And for some reason, I suffered vertigo on that bit. And I had to stop. I felt really weird. And it just felt like a sensation I was going to fall for real. Even though it definitely wasn't going to fall for real. So I had to stop that. Just for a little bit. But I did complete it with Neil's help because some bits I got really stuck on. Yeah, I like games like that. I've also got this other one where I was doing quite a bit on it. I can't remember the name of the game. I'll put it here if I do. He's like a little guy and he's got a red cloak on and a pointy black hat kind of thing. And I really like that. I like dual games where, you know, Candy Crush sort of thing, but I'm not really one to play them a lot. They're not my kind of thing for playing for a long time. I can't do what Stuart does and play, not Monopoly, play Scrabble because I find that boring. And not very great at spelling or figuring out words with the letters I've got, so it don't work for me. Thinking what else I could play, you know. We shall see on the next update if I've done any of them, because right now I'm just listening to a book, playing with makeup, enjoying that. Anything to take my mind off the situation is great. Yeah, and just going shopping and doing your normal everyday stuff. And Aldi changed the water. I have a 12 pack of bottled water because it was, this one was from the Herefordshire, I can't really say the word, spring water, and I really liked it. And normally it takes me a lot to find a bottled water I like, and I like this one. It encourages me to drink water, so at least it's doing that. But now they've changed it and it's from Cumbria and it doesn't taste the same at all. It just doesn't. I'll continue to buy it, but Aldi, I'd like to be informed on these changes. Not that that's going to help it, is it? Vanessa, we would just like to inform you we're changing this. Yeah. So I will see you again next time for another video. Goodbye, everyone.